So I saw, Curtis, you were working at the Israel Day, Salute to Israel Day parade. Is that what they call it? I don't even know what they officially call it anymore.
Well, most Jews really don't, because like you, secular Jews, they don't have anything to do with it.
Well, what suggests that I'm secular?
Just based on your original communist orientation at Camp Commie, where Matt Drudge was your camp counselor.
He was my counselor. That is true. Yeah.
And remember, your hero at the time, Marx, said the opiate of the masses is religion.
That is true.
I have to connect you to you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So thank you for doing that, because now I have a few less fans than I did already.
Yes.
So you walked the parade route on Fifth Avenue, and I saw you were getting quite the response. People love you out there.
Yes. Well, because I'm there every year, not just at troubled times, but every year. So a lot of the Jewish communities have benefited in times of when they were under attack of having guardian angels, most of whom are not Jews, protecting them and everybody in their neighborhoods. So they appreciate that.
Right. I saw people. One of them included my own brother-in-law. Apparently, he stopped you and took a picture with you. You handed him one of those business cards you hand out to everybody you meet.
I'm like a Pez machine. I hand it to everybody. But if he had told me he was your brother-in-law, I would have said, hey, I'm treating you like a person of no consequence. Get out of here.
Right. He knew better.
No card for you. No card for you.
That's why he didn't say anything. He kept quiet.
Oh, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
He knows
what
what I said.
wait. Don't give me this small talk.
Well, what's that?
You're kibbishing, typical Jewish small talk, avoid the issue at hand. I gave you a homework assignment a week before the annual Support the Israel Day parade. Why is it that the parade marches line up at 54th and go north on 5th Avenue to 72nd?
Right.
Like, for example, next Sunday, I'm at that parade. We're always there. The Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Big parade, yeah.
They start at 44th. They go past St. Patrick's Cathedral. They go up to 72nd. Yours is the only parade that does not pass by St. Patrick's Cathedral.
That's right.
So I asked you to do the deep dive and tell me why that is. Which side is responsible for that, or is it a détente, mutual considerations that Jews won't pass in front of the cathedral, maybe because both sides want it that way?
Well, so I did do a deep dive, and normally when you do the deep dive, you can get some answers. I talked to, big-name rabbis in the city, one of them being our own here at Religion, or what's it called now? They're not Religion Online.
He was the first talk show host here when we flipped from Stacks of Wax. James Golden remembers that. He was the musical director.
Right, so Rabbi Potasnik, I spoke with, so that's the Board of Rabbis.
Big Maka.
Spoke with people in the Archdiocese, the Catholic Church. I said, hey, what is it with the Jews starting their parade 3 blocks after St. Patrick's Cathedral? North, right. And nobody could give me an answer. Now, I will say this. I didn't get the sense that they were hiding anything. And even some of them were sort of curious themselves. Like, well, why does the parade start 3 blocks after St. Patrick's Cathedral?
So next year you're telling me it'll start down on 44th Street and continue to 72nd Street like the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Let's say I was able to get to the bottom of this, and I found out that it was because they don't want to have anything to do with the Catholic Church. Are you trying to start some form of a race war or religious war between the Catholics and Jews in New York? Like, why are you so obsessed with the fact that the Jews start 2 blocks north of St. Patrick's Cathedral and not in front of it?
Because it's an unusual oddity. So I looked at it myself because everybody shuts down. They don't want to answer. There are people out there who know the reason.
You think so?
Yeah. From the Catholic Church's perspective, they are not in favor of the state of Israel because they want Jerusalem to be an international city because they have no land in Jerusalem.
No real estate at all.
The Eastern Orthodox control everything, and the Jews and the Muslims in the old city. They got ugats, bubkis. They want it to be an international city. They don't support the state of Israel. They won't tell you that publicly. Now you have certain Orthodox. And the parade, remember, have many Orthodox in it because it's the yeshivas, the shuls, the kids come out in great force.
Right.
Who do not want to walk in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral. There's an old tradition, yes.
And what does that go back to?
Oh, long time. I remember when I first had meetings, sometimes the only place that would give me a facility to meet in an area where Jews were under attack was a Catholic church. And the Orthodox would say, not for nothing, we can't go into the Catholic Church.
But they pass other churches along the way.
Protestant. They're all Protestant the rest of the way.
So So the Protestants have been better to the Jews?
No, when Martin Luther nailed the indulgences on the door of the Roman Catholics, and he was right, you don't pay your way into heaven. He also decided years later, hey, these Jews, they're like infidels. Burn down their synagogues.
Right. So what I go back to is, what exactly do you want to happen? Let's say we find out.
I want
that both of those
I want
things
both
are true.
sides.
You want them to go at
to
each
tell
other.
the truth. No, be honest.
But if we tell the truth, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be friction. Now we get along. It's already bad enough kind of for the Jews as it is in the city. Do you want it to be worse?
So typical Jew that you are, hide under the Castro convertible. And maybe you won't come out on Good Friday any longer when we have flashbacks.
Well, that's the thing, is do you now want the church to go back to teaching the fact that the Jews killed Jesus? Is that what you're looking for?
They do already.
No, but they stopped doing that. I had a good Christian education in high school, and they didn't teach that.
You commie. How do you go from being a commie to a Christian?
Well, my parents sent me to a Christian school.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they didn't tell you that the Jews killed Christ?
They did not. They didn't teach that.
What did they teach you?
I think it was either the Greeks or the Romans.
I see. Yeah. You should be a politician. You really should.
It was one of them. I don't.
Next time,
who do we want to go after today?
Do
the
me
Greeks
a favor.
or the Romans?
Just tell me you have an incomplete assignment, and I can give you a
did the assignment, and the truth was, normally I can tell when people are BSing me. But the truth of the matter is, when I asked these people, they said, it's funny, I never thought about this before.
I don't mind touching the third rail. I told you from both perspectives.
Is this what you're going to do as mayor? Or are you going to try to bring back like race wars and wars between the Catholics and the Jews? I mean, what do you hope to find out? Let's say we find out an answer to this, and it ends up being something like, no, the Jews don't want to go past.
I'll have a press conference and I'll be on Ask the Mayor here at WABC mid-mornings, and I'll let everybody know the real deal.
Right.
And you see,
but you'll make things worse. You're not going to make them better. Right now, nobody's ever thought about.
Trust me.
I had never thought about the fact that the Israel Day Parade had started two blocks north of St. Patrick's
all
Cathedral.
Jews are nervous. You're nervous when it rains outside. You're nervous that you're going to get pneumonia.
Yeah, I'm nervous when I drink whole milk. Yeah,
the goyim act up. Oh my God, we don't want to get the
but I almost feel like you're trying to bring back that hatred by asking this information.
Lay down. And by the way, you did an incomplete news report.
What's that?
Breaking news.
Breaking news. WABC.
So, by the way, Eric Adams, swagger man with no plan, holding up the bulletproof vest of the police officer, was shot. Thank God for the bulletproof vest, or he would have been dead, or maybe seriously injured. And didn't comment on the fact that the guy who did this is a guest of his at our expense.
That's right.
At the Courtyard Marriott Hotel right next to LaGuardia.
Oh, that's a pretty nice hotel.
3-star hotel. We pay a lot of money for him to stay there. Guess what his name is?
I saw it, and I just don't remember. What is his name?
Bernardo Castro, who came to Eagle Pass, Texas, July of 2023, and has been staying here due to the fact that we're forced to pay for all of his expenses. Now, he was on that moped going the wrong way at 1:40 in the morning, strapped, and the two cops, Christopher Abreu and Richard Yaruso, stop him, and then all of a sudden there's a chase. He fires back. He hits them. They hit him. You pretty much know that part of the story.
Right.
But there's the part of the story you don't know.
What part of the story is that?
The Courtyard Marriott Hotel. What are the rules and regulations for staying there? A, it's for families. It's not for single men. What the hell was he doing there? The guard will walk you to the room when you're downstairs, although they will not check your room. You're not supposed to have contraband, weapons, but the military, meaning the National Guard, will check the rooms once a week. Remember, these are families. The Department of Homeless Services. Thank you, Department of Homeless Services, for ratting out the Eric Adams administration. Now figure out which one of your top mockers are ratting you out. That the Department of Homeless Services has been warned time and time again that some of the family members that we're paying for as guests to stay at the Courtyard Marriott Hotel have come in with weapons and contraband. And instead of being transferred to another hotel or being told, that's it, tough noogies, you broke the rules, Department of Homeless Services steps in and says, leave them right where they are.
Wow.
Leave them right where they are. Cars in the parking lot, with no tags, illegal. Leave them right where they are. Mopeds, with no registration, no paperwork, leave them right where they are. So, the National Guard is doing its job. Some of the private security officers are doing their job. But the ones who are not doing their job are the Department of Homeless Services, who, under the orders of the Adams administration, is saying, do not remove them. Leave them right there. And the NYPD is not permitted to come into the Courtyard Marriott Hotel under any circumstance unless they're requested.
Wow.
So imagine, you're a cop. You can go almost anywhere, right? But at a migrant center, you can't go in there. And if you do, you'll probably get beat down by Venezuelans, illegals, who've been prioritized. Because Eric Adams, he doesn't seem to have a problem with his cops getting beaten up by Venezuelans. Let's see, they did it at the Roosevelt Hotel last week. They've done it on Randall's Island. They did it in Times Square. Yeah. And now, his cops are getting shot by the people he invited in, illegal Venezuelans. And all he can do is hold up a bulletproof vest. He probably told his story, when I was a cop, I wore a bulletproof vest.
It's so funny. He held up that bulletproof vest, and I thought of you this morning, and then told a story about him and his brother afterwards.
Of course. It's always about him.
Yeah.
The cop gets killed, it's about him. When he gave the eulogy for the cop, remember?
Yeah.
When the cops are getting shot by his guests that we're forced to pay for, illegal Venezuelan gangbangers, it's all about him. Eric Adams, I know you and your administration are listening right now in City Hall. Thank you, Department of Homeless Services, for cold-busting him by giving me all the information. Now, knock yourself out in trying to figure out which two rats they are that feed me this information. Again, you heard it exclusively right here on the Rip and Read. And you get a D because you failed.
D?
That's right. You failed to come up with the answer of why the Jews don't walk by.
How about a C-, so I passed?
No. D. D for dummy.